So, the crew at DJI just hit us up with the brand new DJI Osmo Mobile 7P, and yeah, a solo review would have been cool, but hey, we're versus.com, so we're throwing it into the ring with the Insta360 Flow 2 Pro, with the AI tracker bundle, and the Hohem iSteady M7 to see how this new DJI gimbal stacks up when it comes to design, features, and most importantly, tracking. Hey, I'm Olive, your host here at versus.com. First things first, we just want to remind you that even though DJI sponsored this video, our tests and opinions are still 100% honest and unbiased. Now, let's start off with the design. Right away, you can see that both the DJI and Insta360 are super compact when folded, being basically the same size. The Hohem, on the other hand, is a straight-up chunky boy, and to make things even bulkier, it needs an attachable tripod to stand still, adding extra heft. That extra weight, however, serves a purpose when it comes to payload, which we'll get into in just a moment. As for materials, they all have good build quality, though the Hohem does feel a bit more sturdy and does also have more rubberized grip areas compared to the other two gimbals. It also has 2 1/4-inch screw holes, perfect for attaching a mic or even another camera for POV shots. When it comes to weight, the DJI, with its multifunctional module, tips the scales at 370 grams, while the Insta360 with the AI tracker comes in at exactly 400 grams. The Hohem, featuring its AI tracker, is the heaviest at 655 grams, and with the tripod attached, it bumps up to 777 grams. When it comes to maximum payload, both the DJI and Insta360 top out at 300 grams, which is on the lower side considering that the iPhone 16 Pro Max alone already weighs 227 grams. The Hohem, on the other hand, can handle up to 500 grams, making it the best option for those who want to use a phone with a dedicated lens. Now, to start using any of these gimbals, you'll obviously need to unfold them first. With the DJI and Insta360, it's as simple as flipping the arm up, and that's it. They even turn on automatically. With the Hohem, though, you'll have to unlock these 3 switches and then turn it on manually. Both the DJI and the Insta360 are pretty easy to use with one hand thanks to their compact size. The Hohem, however, sometimes does require you to use both hands to reach some of the buttons because of its size. However, it makes up for this with a very handy remote that has a built-in screen, allowing you to access pretty much all of its features at a distance. Both the DJI and the Insta360 have built-in tripods. On the DJI, you can pull out all the legs at once with a single pull, whereas on the Insta360, you'll have to pull each leg out separately. The Hohem, as mentioned, also comes with a tripod, but it is not built in. Instead, you'll need to screw it in manually. On the plus side, it is bigger, so it provides better stability. All 3 gimbals also come with built-in extension rods. The Hohem's rod is actually the shortest. For phone mounting, both the DJI and Insta360 use a magnetic phone clamp, which means you can detach and reattach your phone instantly without having to remove the clamp from your device. Additionally, both of these also offer a first-party MagSafe compatible magnetic mount for iPhones to make things even more convenient. The Hohem unfortunately sticks to a fixed and rather clunky clamp. A cool feature that all these gimbals share is detachable CCT fill lights. On the DJI and Hohem, they come included in the box, but if you're using the Insta360, you'll need to grab the AI tracker bundle or purchase it separately. On the DJI, you get 8 brightness levels and 8 adjustable color temperatures. The Insta360 is a bit more limited, offering just 3 brightness levels and 3 color temperatures. The Hohem, however, packs the most flexibility. It not only offers the most control over brightness and temperature, but it also lets you choose from 360 different RGB colors. On all gimbals, you can also flip the light around for selfie videos. In case you don't have the attention span of a goldfish, you might have spotted these small cameras next to the lights. Don't worry, we're getting to that in just a second. All 3 gimbals can also double up as power banks with a USB-C output right at the top. On the DJI, however, you can charge both the gimbal and the phone at the same time. All you need to do is plug a power bank into the gimbal and then connect the light module to the phone for on-the-go recharging. With that out of the way, let's move on to probably the most exciting part, tracking. So I hope that you were paying attention and remember those cameras next to the lights on all of these gimbals. These are multifunctional tracking modules that let the gimbals track people no matter the app or device that you're using. Yup, even with an iPhone 2G if you want. Since this AI tracking works independently, you don't need to rely on their official apps. So let's test this with our iPhone using the native camera app. With the DJI, you need to show the palm of your hand to start and stop AI tracking. As you can see, this works flawlessly, instantly detecting me and smoothly tracking my movements, even when I briefly hide from the camera and then reappear. The Insta360 also starts and stops AI tracking with the palm of your hand, and honestly, there aren't any big differences compared to the DJI. Both are buttery smooth in tracking and handle the brief hiding and reappearing test almost identically. Now, for the Hohem, you start or stop AI tracking with an OK sign instead. However, the tracking here felt a lot more stuttery compared to the other two. It also took the longest time to recognize me again after briefly hiding. That said, it does have the best framing for full body filming. We have to point out that the AI tracker on both the DJI and Insta360 can only track one person at a time. However, the Hohem offers object tracking as well, but to use it, you'll need to set it up through the screen on the remote. The Insta360, on top of AI tracking with the multifunctional tracker, can also track without it, thanks to Apple Dock Kit, Apple's own built-in tracking technology that lets iOS handle the tracking directly through the camera. For our next tracking tests, we'll be using each gimbal's official app to access their advanced tracking modes and see how they perform. DJI calls it its tracking tech Active Track 7.0. Insta360 refers to it as Deep Track 4.0, and Hohem names it its system iSteady 9.0. To start tracking, you can still use the same gestures as before on each respective gimbal. However, all of them also allow you to start tracking with a single trigger press or simply select the subject directly on the phone screen. Starting off with subject tracking, the DJI did an excellent job detecting my face and keeping track of me as I moved away from the camera. Even when I briefly hid behind this tree, it recognized me right away. The Insta360 performed just as well, nailing face detection and smoothly tracking my movements. It also handled the tree hiding test perfectly, picking me up again as soon as I reappeared. The Hohem, on the other hand, detected my face and tracked me as I moved away. But then it went absolutely bonkers once I hid behind the tree and reappeared, and this wasn't a one-off issue. It happened every single time we repeated the test, while the other two gimbals got it right on the first try. When we ran the same test, but this time zooming while tracking, the DJI nailed it once again, smoothly following me just like before. The only limitation is that it maxes out at 8x zoom. The Insta360 also did a great job and was actually a bit more stable than the DJI. Plus, it offers up to 15x zoom, giving you more flexibility if you need that extra reach. However, when we tried to test this with the Hohem, it was a total fail. You couldn't track me at all, even at low zoom levels. And trust us, we repeated this test multiple times. Now, when it comes to multi-person tracking, the DJI can detect multiple faces in the frame. However, it can only track one person at a time, and you'll need to manually select which person to follow. The Insta360 not only can detect multiple faces, but it can also track them at the same time, keeping them in the frame even if one moves off to the side. Plus, you can manually select which person to prioritize in case the other leaves the frame, which is pretty cool if you actually have friends. The Hohem, though, can only detect and track a single person, offering no multi-person tracking capabilities at all. Next up, we tested the object tracking capabilities of these gimbals using a phone. The DJI handled it like a pro. It tracked the phone's movements smoothly and even resumed tracking perfectly after I briefly hid the phone in my pocket. The Insta360 performed almost identically to the DJI, also resuming tracking after I hid the phone. However, it did have a minor hiccup when the phone passed in front of my face, momentarily losing track. The Hohem actually did a decent job selecting and tracking the phone even after I put it in my pocket. But things got a little weird when I passed the phone in front of my face when it suddenly decided to track my face instead. As for 360-degree tracking, while this year's DJI model definitely has far more reach compared to the latest version, it still cannot perform 360-degree tracking, something both the Insta360 and Hohem can flawlessly do, as you can see in this panoramic footage. When it comes to stabilization while walking, there's really nothing major to report. All three gimbals do a solid job at delivering smooth footage, but honestly, that's to be expected since most phones these days already come with optical or electronic image stabilization. As the Pokemon games would say, it's super effective. All in all, we have to say the DJI and Insta360 are superior when it comes to AI tracking, whether using the multi-function tracker or their native apps. However, the Insta360 does offer a bit more flexibility with 360-degree tracking and simultaneous multi-person tracking. Unfortunately, the Hohem falls behind as its software just can't quite keep up with its great hardware. But how do you actually operate these gimbals? Let's check it out in our next category. To keep things short, all gimbals have more or less the same controls. All come with a joystick to control direction, a record button, a rear trigger button, and a zooming wheel. It's just the position or the shape of these controls that differ. They all also support different filming modes: follow mode, tilt-locked mode, and FPV mode. The DJI also has a dedicated spin mode, but you can replicate this effect on the Hohem too. As mentioned before, one neat feature in the Hohem is that it comes with a detachable remote control with a built-in screen. With this, you can adjust all the gimbal settings at a distance or even select your tracking subjects and objects. Just keep an eye on it though, you don't want someone snatching your gimbal and running off with it.
The DJI comes with a bonus. Its multifunctional module can be paired with the DJI Mic Mini in order to get crystal clear audio even if you're shooting at a distance. All you have to do is ensure that the module is plugged into your phone and then that the mic is connected to the module and you're good to go. It is called multifunctional module for a reason. Just keep in mind that the mic is sold separately.
To be fair, you can use the DJI Mic Mini with the other gimbals as well. However, you would need to plug the receiver into the phone and then pair the transmitters. While this works, it may throw off the balance of the gimbal, which could affect stabilization. This makes DJI's built-in solution much more convenient. The companion apps DJI Mimo, Insta360, and Hohem are all pretty user-friendly and packed with features like time-lapses, hyperlapses, panoramic shots, and even 360-degree photos. You can also easily adjust video settings, set custom paths for time-lapses, and explore various special modes. Plus, each app includes built-in filters, helpful tutorials, and even an integrated editor so you can start working on your footage right after filming. But how long will your gimbal last until it runs out of juice? Let's move on to battery and pricing. DJI claims 10 hours of battery life for the Osmo Mobile 7P, which is exactly the same as Insta360's claim for its gimbal. Hohem, on the other hand, says its gimbal can last up to 12 hours. But of course, these are just the official numbers. Actual battery life depends on how you use the gimbal, the weight of your phone, and the kind of movements that you make. Also, keep in mind that using AI tracking on any of these gimbals will drain your phone's battery faster. Now let's talk about the prices. The DJI Osmo Mobile 7P comes in at $149. The Insta360 Flow 2 Pro with the AI tracker bundle is priced at $179, and the Hohem iSteady M7 is the priciest at $299. That's a $150 difference between the DJI and the most expensive Hohem. With that extra cash, you could easily grab the DJI Mic Mini and record super clear audio no matter the environment. So, the new DJI Osmo Mobile 7P brings some great improvements over its predecessor, paired with that versatile multi-function tracker that works seamlessly across any phone and OS. It also keeps one of its best features, an affordable price that won't break the bank. That said, both the Insta360 and Hohem have their own strengths, like 360-degree tracking. Additionally, the Insta360 comes with multi-person tracking, while the Hohem features a superior payload capacity for heavy setups. In the end, it all comes down to what best fits your needs. So let us know in the comments which one of these awesome devices would you go for. Links to all of them can be found in the description below. Before you go, don't forget to give us a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video and hit subscribe, as we're always testing out new devices to help you make the best choice. We'll see you in our next video, and until then, take care.